92% of men are systematically destroying their own value under the delusion of what they call kindness. You know the exact weight of this failure. It is 3 a.m. You are staring at a cold screen, watching a read receipt slip into hours of agonizing silence. You did everything right. You answered within seconds, canceled your own plans, left your priorities unfinished, and dismantled your entire ego just to ensure her comfort. Yet, she drifted away with a chilling, unbothered indifference. You look at your story, and it hurts. The lazy excuse parroted across modern culture is that women only desire toxic men. This is an incorrect, weak-minded coping mechanism designed to avoid looking directly into the mirror. The brutal truth cuts much deeper, straight into the hidden architecture of evolutionary biology. True confidence with women is never manufactured through submission or unconditional compliance. By examining the cold, unyielding mechanics of female psychology, we expose a devastating neurological reality. Your relentless overgiving is the exact catalyst deactivating her desire. There is a deep psychological paradox waiting at the end of this realization, one that shifts you from a desperate seeker into an unshakable force. Human evolution did not program the brain to value what is infinitely available. For millions of years, survival dictated that rarity and the immense effort required to obtain an asset directly determined its perceived worth. When you transform yourself into a permanent fixture in her life, constantly accessible, endlessly compliant, altering your mood, schedule, and values to fit her whims, you are not projecting love. You are radiating a low-value signal that screams you have nothing more critical to accomplish in your own existence. This triggers what psychologists call the perceived accessibility effect. In the domain of attraction psychology, human desire relies entirely on anticipation, uncertainty, and the dopamine reward system. Dopamine is not the chemical of satisfaction. It is the hormone of the hunt, the neurological fuel of pursuit and expectation. The moment a woman realizes your presence is guaranteed tomorrow, regardless of how she treats you today, her brain deactivates its seeking system. You have eliminated the challenge, eradicated the space required for longing, and effectively murdered the biological motivation for her to pursue you. This behavioral decay manifests as a clinical phenomenon known as relational identity fusion. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, a man dissolves his personal boundaries, organizing his entire identity, ambitions, and daily reference points around the relationship. You stop being a man with an independent center of gravity and become a weak, hollow reflection of what you assume she requires. But a mirror possesses no internal substance. It has no weight, no gravity, and ultimately, no lasting appeal. Real dating advice for men cannot be found in pickup lines or manipulative behavioral scripts. It must begin with the brutal reclamation of your own sovereignty. If you are listening to these words right now and recognizing the exhausting pattern of your own self-inflicted erasure, pause. Leave a like or drop a single comment below. This is not an arbitrary request for engagement metrics. It is a conscious psychological contract with yourself, an open admission of the flaw, so you can begin rebuilding your masculine framework from a place of absolute strength. The desperate urge to overgive is rarely motivated by genuine generosity. It is driven by an uncalibrated, anxious attachment system. Formed in the inconsistencies of early development, this hypersensitivity translates into adulthood as an all-consuming fear of abandonment. You become hyper-vigilant, obsessively scanning every silence, every delayed text, and every slight shift in posture, desperately hunting for signs she likes you to validate your fragile existence. To manage the suffocating anxiety of potential rejection, you double down on the only strategy you know. You give more, take up less space, and become even easier to please. The cruel irony of this defensive mechanism is that the underlying neediness acts as a psychological toxin. This frenetic energy and constant demand for emotional reassurance suffocate raw attraction, transforming what could have been a healthy connection into a frustrating emotional obligation that naturally drives her further away. A man without uncompromised boundaries is not loving. He is fundamentally confusing, unstructured, and volatile. Every time you tolerate behavior that violates your core values, every time you suppress your intuition to avoid a temporary conflict, you are actively teaching her how to devalue you. Boundaries are not weapons of manipulation or artificial walls built out of spite. They are the natural, silent demarcation of where your identity ends and hers begins. Adopting a Stoic posture means understanding that you cannot control her emotional weather, her whims, or her ultimate choices, but you possess absolute dominion over your own internal state. When you operate from a position of grounded self-sufficiency, anchored in your own purpose and willing to walk away the moment your boundaries are crossed, you unexpectedly reactivate the seeking system within her brain. You communicate the ultimate high-value signal. You are a man with a sovereign kingdom, one who chooses her partnership out of abundance, never out of emotional starvation. The ultimate realization of this psychological truth requires a profound paradigm shift. You do not establish boundaries, cultivate internal gravity, or master your emotional regulation to manipulate a woman into staying or to win a transactional game of affection. You execute this deep internal work because an undisciplined life of codependency is simply not worth living. You win this game not when she chooses you, but when you finally choose yourself, standing tall like a tree whose roots have been forged deep by the fierce wind. Yet understanding this concept is merely the first step. The danger lies in swinging to the opposite extreme of cold, toxic indifference, which is just another mask for fear. To ensure you navigate this transition with absolute precision and maintain your masculine honor, transition immediately into the video appearing on your screen right now. The Evolution Rule. Every man must master to trigger female attraction instinctively. We will dismantle the blueprint to forge a stoic masculine frame that commands respect without losing your humanity. Subscribe to seal your commitment to this evolution and click through now to claim your strength.